Hello, how are you doing? And I'm very, very excited to be here. I'm very happy to be recording this video for you because it's been on my heart for a long time to actually create a video on this particular subject because I know that a lot of people who are using WhatsApp often, get stressed out by having to reply, so many customers and stuff like that. And I mean, sometimes we just want to relax and be taken care of, right? You want to add some automation to what you're doing. You want something else or someone else to do the job so that you can concentrate on other things, right? And if you're getting so many messages, this is it can become pretty frustrating. You're making the money, but then you're stressed out. So I have been thinking about doing this video for a long time, but at that time, I didn't understand how the WhatsApp robots, the popular WhatsApp bots or WhatsApp autoresponders work. So I had to take my time to learn at least the most essential, the most important part, right? Things can get pretty complicated, and I feel like if we come from the complicated angle of things, you're going to get lost. And it's not supposed to be really hard. It's not supposed to be hard to use, right? So I have tried as much as possible to make this class as easy to understand as possible. We're going to be here for like the next maybe 35 to 45 minutes. So I need you to pay full attention to what we are going to be doing here today. So either you call them WhatsApp robots or you call them WhatsApp auto. The common name is autoresponders, right? So, but they're essentially actually programmed robots that basically do the job for you. So in this class, we're going to cover why WhatsApp autoresponders are better than WhatsApp auto reply, right? Then I'm going to take you through some basics that you need to just have at the back of your mind. Then we're going to look at the practical section, where to get a WhatsApp autoresponder, how to create a rule. We're going to do 2 examples on how to create a rule, and I'll explain what a rule is. So we'll do an example for a specific product that you are selling, a specific offer that you are selling, right? So if you have like several products going on, it would actually make sense that you actually have, like different rules created for different products. For the most part, as your expertise and knowledge grows, as you experiment this and you become really good at using WhatsApp autoresponders, you might be able to merge, requests about different products into each other. When my understanding also gets to that level, I will also, as I advance in things, I will get across to you on that. But now let's keep things simple, functional, and straight to the point so that you can start using this feature right away, right? Okay, so and then we'll cover general messages, how to test your rules, because you have to be sure it's working. Then I will also show you how to pick up on multiple responses, and I'll explain what that means, how to duplicate a rule. So we're going to also cover that. Then lastly, we'll go to the last session where I will show you the current limitations and issues with WhatsApp autoresponders that you should have at the back of your mind, or WhatsApp bots. Like I said, they're popularly called WhatsApp autoresponders. So let's get in. So the thing is, WhatsApp autoresponders are basically better than WhatsApp auto reply because of they are able to time their responses. Now you must have gotten several sometimes you send a person a message on WhatsApp and you receive an automated reply like this long one from them, right? Now you notice that anytime you send a message to people, this response drops immediately. It's called the greeting message. So the greeting message, of course, this is where you can find the greeting message settings. You come to this part of your phone, you go to business tools and then greeting message. So you can actually, click on it and then type in what you want. But because my autoresponder is working, I don't want a clash, so it's switched off. And that reminds me, when you want to start using the WhatsApp autoresponder, make sure that your greeting message feature is switched off. This is very, 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 very important. So this is what we used to, but you can't really time a greeting message. It drops immediately, and I feel like what is happening is that a lot of people, because of the sudden manner in which they get the message, it looks too, robotic. It looks too inhuman that people just get thrown off. Right? And then also because you only get one opportunity, right? You can only give the instruction in just one block of chat. It's not like you can do multiple chats like that. You have to put everything in one single chat. So when people see the number of things they have to read and do, a lot of people just drop off. So the compliance rate, so apart from the fact that the message drops suddenly, the compliance rates with using WhatsApp auto replies is very low, especially the greeting message and the away message, right? But you want something that feels like a human being is talking to you. For the most part, yes, people may know that this is a robot, but they want that conversation to actually at least have some, natural touch. And these are the two reasons why WhatsApp autoresponders are better than WhatsApp auto reply. So as much as possible, as quickly as possible, you want to make the shift over to using a WhatsApp autoresponder. I mean, take a look at this, for example. Look at this conversation. Hi, my brother Paul, my name is, please, I need more information. So the same statement that this other person, made here. So exactly the same thing, right? But you can see the difference. Now, see what happens. After a few minutes, hello, my name is Okon. I'm brother Prosperity assistant. I help to reduce workload. You can see this looks like a human being. Yeah, I've already said that it's an AI that is talking. I programmed it to talk this way. So people know, okay, this is an AI talking, but it feels personal. I see some people trying to program their bot in such a way to make it look like it's actually them who are there. Kind of like sometimes a lot of people get it wrong, right? So in my opinion, I think I would let you know from the start that, hey, I am not the one talking to you. This is my digital assistant, but he will do a good job, right? What people just want is that they want clean responses. And they don't want a bunch load or a lump of charts that they have to, a set of instructions that they have to read. So, and then it goes on, but you'll see this in practical terms. I will show you how this works. Now, all this is a bot responding on my behalf. We'll go to the practical side of things very soon. So you would agree with me that something like this, feels a lot more personal than something like this, right? So that's it. So let's go on. So let's go to the next thing. So I've said this before. Please, WhatsApp DM automation, which is also what we call this, is not hard at all. Once you understand the basic features, the struggle that most people have is to understand what each basic feature does so that they can use it. Once you understand the basic feature, right, how much you can achieve with a WhatsApp autoresponder is basically limited by your creativity. There is absolutely nothing super special at the basics about this once you understand the basic features. So I needed to let you know that so that I can put your mind at peace. So where do you get a WhatsApp autoresponder from? So the WhatsApp autoresponder I use is called autoresponder for WeA, autoresponder for WhatsApp. But if you go to Google Play Store, where's my Play Store app? Play Store, okay, and then you type autoresponder for WhatsApp. So this is what you're going to see. There are two, right? In fact, there are two, but there are two major ones actually. So you have autoresponder for WhatsApp, and then you have auto reply for WhatsApp. Both of them work very well, but I use autoresponder for WhatsApp. This is the one I use. This is the most popular one, and it's doing very well. You can see the rating is 4.2, so it does extremely well. This is the one I use. So you're going to have to install this particular app, because I already have it installed on my phone, so I don't need to download it again, but you're going to have to install it. All right. So and then once you do that and it shows on your phone, then you open up the app, and most likely this is what you're going to be greeted with. It's going to be, I have deleted my rules so that I can start this from the very get-go, and it will feel absolutely, so that you feel like, oh, you're starting from scratch, right? So what we want to do now is we want to start imputing or programming the kind of statement that we want the robot to drop when people come to us. So now, so we're getting to how to create a rule. I'm going to use two examples. A rule is basically the set of statements that you want the robot to respond to a customer with when a customer drops a certain kind of message, right? So if you have gone through the Succeed with WhatsApp course, you must have gotten to the point where I spoke about how to use WhatsApp link generators to customize your messages. If you have not gone through that section in the Succeed with WhatsApp course, please do that as soon as possible. How to customize your messages with WhatsApp link generators. Now, so those link generators, like this one, let's go to WhatsApp. No, let me just go to Postcron because I use it a lot. So Postcron WhatsApp link generator, right? So this is one I use the most, right? I covered this section in the Succeed with WhatsApp course already, so you should go through that section and learn how to use this link generator, customizer, and stuff like that. What it allows you to do is that it allows you to generate a WhatsApp link that you can post anywhere, and then you can also integrate a specific message. So what message do you want your customers to see when they contact you? So this is where I created this particular message that you are seeing. Let me show you an example. This particular one. Hello, brother, but my name's please, I need more information on so when you create that stuff here, then you can use that link. You can integrate that link, the link that it generates for you after you have entered all the details. So let me not dwell too much on this. Go through that video and get knowledge on this. All right, so let's move away from here. All right, so let's go to creating a rule, right? So you're going to type on this plus sign. And when you do that, you're going to see this received message should be answered and all that. So what it basically means is it's saying what message should this bot respond to. That's the rule that you're creating, that, hey bot, if you see this message, drop on my WhatsApp, respond with XYZ, right? So, but you have to tell the robot what the message is first. Now, let me start. I have kept those messages somewhere so that I can easily access them. All right, so let's so let's come here. All right, so I'm going to copy this right now to make it really fast. I don't want to start typing, and then I'm going to paste it here. Right, so once you paste it, this new section will show up. Don't worry, we're going to cover the essential relevant aspect of it. Don't be intimidated, it's not hard. So when you type in the message here, my hello brother, my name is blah 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 blah, whatever message it is that you want the bot to respond to. Now, one of the reasons why it's important to use a customized message is so that you can know where this person is coming from. It can help you keep track, because if you have several offers running, right, at any place online, and you have your WhatsApp link somewhere, when somebody clicks that link, right, and they come to your WhatsApp and that message follows it and they drop, you can tell, oh, okay, it is from this place, or this is what this person wants. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, I agree that at the very initial, this is going to be easily usable for digital product sellers. But you as an e-commerce seller or as a physical product seller can also use this. It just takes some, basically creative thinking. So in the case of an e-commerce, of somebody who sells physical products, where you have so many products that you're selling, right, you might want to use a general message, and we'll get to that. We'll get to an example of that very soon. So it will now, what will basically happen is that the robot will answer a customer up to a particular point, right, where you can then now take over when you eventually come online, right? So like I said, as our knowledge grows, as we become more experts at this, we'll be able to cover for different scenarios that comes up. All right, so now let's go on. So hello brother Paul. So once you paste the message, you are going to select similarity match, not exact match. And this is very, very important. Why? If you select exact match and somebody alters the message by putting in their name, for example, hello, my name is Oladapo Alimi Sunday, right? And you have gone ahead to say exact match. What you're essentially telling the robot is that if it does not see the exact message that you placed in here, it should not respond. So you don't want to do, there might be situations where you want to use exact match, but in most cases you don't want to, because you don't want a situation where, okay, hundreds of people send you a message and use exact match and none of them exactly match to what you programmed here, and then you now have to start manually responding to those messages. It's going to be a lot of work. Very stressful. So you want to use similarity match. This is very, very important. What similarity match means, right, is that it's going to look at your, what you have placed, and it's going to ask itself, how similar is this message to what this person has sent to me? How similar is this message to what this person has sent to me? If it is very similar, then the rule will be triggered, right? And it would respond. Hope you understand. So let's go on. So once you paste this in and then you go on, then it's going to ask you So then it's going to ask you, okay, what should I, reply with? So after I select similarity match, what is your reply message? Then you now click this, and then you'll be like, this should be sent, right? So you're going to move here. So basically it's going to ask you, what should it respond with? So this is my response message, right? So I'm going to click this and then copy it. That's because I already have this, used somewhere. So that's one. Now, if you have multiple responses that you want the software to drop for that person, then you're going to look at this plus sign, right? After this one or random, you can see minus, you can see plus. That means you want to add an extra message. You click on that plus sign, another field that you can add an extra message to will be dropped. One of the reasons why I like to divide my responses is so that it doesn't look plastic. It doesn't look like, imagine dropping a bunch. Exactly what you didn't want to do is now what you're doing because you try to put all your responses into one chat block. You don't want to do that. So you want to make it as human as possible. So, right. But this is entirely dependent on you. You are the one that will determine, okay, how many blocks of chat should my response be, right? But the goal is to make it as human looking as possible. So then I will now look for the second response. My name is Okon. I am Brother Post Friendly Assistant. You can see the way I constructed my own. Yours doesn't have to be exactly this way. No, we have to apply common sense here. But it has to, let it be personable. Let it be human, Let it feel natural. Some people may like, okay, I don't want to say that this is a bot that's answering. Hello, you're welcome, blah, blah, blah. You decide exactly what you want to do. You decide what your flow looks like. So you don't have to follow my own per se. But kind of, because I feel like in some situations, people may be able to tell, okay, this is actually a real bot answering, and then they will stop answering. That's why I tell them right from the start, look, this is a digital assistant answering you, right? So let's go on. All right, so then I will now, that second response, you get. So remember all the programming that we do on WhatsApp with the use of the asterisk. If you want to bolden up something, all those stuff, you basically do that also. So then we come here. I still have one more response I want to add, right? Then I will now come to where I have the message. I'm happy, so happy you made it through. Copy. Then I will paste that. All right. You're very welcome. Okay, so then I will now, I still have one more response, so I will add another plus again, and then I will go, and then I'll get this, then confirm to me, right? And then I'll drop it. So that's 4 responses for this message that the person dropped. So hello, my name is Okumbra, blah, blah, blah. I'm so happy you get, and all that. So once you move away from that, now this delay in seconds is basically asking you, right? What should be the delay, the random delay between these messages? So you don't want, if everything starts dropping every 1 second, it starts looking somehow. So it will ask you what should be the minimum delay between the messages, right? And what should be the maximum delay. So pretty much I prefer to use 4 seconds to a maximum of 6 seconds. I found this to be as human for me as possible, so I'm okay with that. You may choose something else. I tried 3 to 5. It was dropping it felt too fast, so I moved over to 4, minimum of 4 seconds in between the messages, and a maximum of 6. Process messages with Dialogflow ES, connect your web server. We're not touching this for right now. In fact, at this point, I really don't even know what it is yet. I'll have to go and research more on this later. All right, so then the optional part is where it's now majorly asking you what should be the amount of time between when this message drops from the customer and where your own replies drop. Now, it's not to be confused with this multiple reply section, which is where you are determining the amount of seconds between each of the messages. No, this particular one is now asking you what should be the amount of time between when that customer dropped the message and when you reply. I also use between 4 to 6 seconds. You can use 4, you can use 4, it's fine. But I just like to vary things. It's just me. So it's going to ask you, is it individuals, group, or both? It's individuals because you're responding to customers in here. If you go and select group or you select both, it means that if anybody drops a message similar to that message in a group, right, the autoresponder will be triggered. That's pretty messed up, actually. You don't want that. So let's go on. So individuals, then you have ignore specific contacts. Like, do you want this to respond to specific contacts only? Well, If there are situations where that might come up, even though that is going to be very rare, you're most likely not even going to use that initially. You should leave it alone. Ignored contacts. Are there contacts that you want this to be ignored for? Leave it alone. For the most part, you don't need that right now. Now, it's going to conditions: reply only at specific times of days. Reply only if previous rule was executed within the last X seconds. Whatever. You don't really need all this right now. Reply only if device is charging. Reply only if ringer is silent. You don't need all these situations at the moment. Well, as the days go by and you get more familiar and you use the software more and more, then you can then now decide that you want to start tinkering and playing around with all this. By the way, let me also tell you that multiple replies is not available on the free version. The one you will get from Play Store is the free version. You can only use one reply on the free version. If you want to be able to use multiple replies like I do, invest some money like I did. As at that time, the software is 9,950 naira. That's in naira. That would be roughly like $25, right? In dollars. So invest some money into the software. But before you do that, please let's complete this tutorial, because I still have some things to tell you about certain phones that the software is not going to work on. So you wouldn't have gone ahead to buy and then I have to start worrying about a refund later. So just hold on. But I needed to let you know that this is not going to, you can use multiple replies if you are working with the free version. So this is the fully paid version. So let's go on. All right. So then it's going to next to show a priority notification. You don't need that. Pause rule for X seconds. This at the very basic, because we're trying to keep things simple here, you don't need it. But what this basically means is if somebody has triggered that rule before, meaning that somebody has sent you that particular message before, and then the person now sends it again or sends a similar message again, this rule, in other words, this the software, the autoresponder should not respond to that message. Then it can ask you, okay, within how much time range? Should it be seconds? Should it be minutes? Should it be hours? Should it be days? Or after how many number of messages? At the beginning, because you're still new to this, you don't really need this right now. You really don't need this right now. When you start using something like this is when, okay, you've gotten really familiar and there's a chance that, people, for example, if I set up a general message, like a hi, hello, brother, and my autoresponder is always picking up the autoresponder every single time. Always picking up that message and responding. It's going to start looking, I'm not new here now, you get, and it's going to feel plastic. So that's when I will use something like this. So what I might do is I can say, okay, for this number of days or hours or days, whichever option, maybe say like 7 days, don't respond to any message that looks like this again from this person. You get. So that's the only time you might need something like this. But at the very basic right now, you really don't need it. You don't need it. So let's skip that section for now. All right. So let's go on. So once you're done with this, right? Remember what I said here was then confirm to me by typing done. So you're saying the person should reply with done once they have saved your number. Now, where are you going to put the response when the person eventually types done? For example, here. Okay, so then confirm by typing done once you have done so, and then this is done, right? How then does the conversation continue where you now have something like this and you have this one and then you have all this one? So I'm going to show you. That's what we now call a sub menu. So in essence, you are saying that, okay, after this person has completed this particular rule, right, and there is a follow-up conversation or a continuation of the conversation, maybe, for example, like I said, type done here. Once the person replies done, I'm going to have to create a sub rule, which is going to be like a continuation of the conversation. So you come to here, it's either a sub rule or a sub menu. You now add this plus sign. Okay, so first you have to save the rule before you can add a sub menu. So we're going to save the rule first. So this is the rule, right? This is the rule. So then we're now going to open it again and then we're going to continue from where we stopped. So remember I said, sorry, I'm repeating myself. I'm repeating because I want you to get it. So in case this is feeling like kindergarten, I don't want you to get confused. That's why I'm repeating myself. So now we're going to have to respond to this, then confirm to me that you know by typing done. I'll come to this sub menu, right? And then I will type done. So for now, let me keep things simple. But what I've noticed is that sometimes if you say, remember when I typed, I said the person should reply with done. That's in capital letter, right? But sometimes people will reply, they will not follow your instruction per se. They will reply with done in, capital, first letter capital and others. Now, if you do something like this, the software may not pick it up. So what you can do is you can now try to imagine what are the different kind of responses that people can give. Then you now create a multiple response option for that. I've already jumped to one of the things I said I was going to talk about later, but I think it's cool to do it now. So done, right? So if you now want to okay, are there other kind of responses that people can give? Some people may say done, sir. Some people may say done, D-O-N. Some people may say I have done it. Different kind of human beings. So you have to account for all those situations so that it won't be a case of, the person typed done and then the software did not respond and that was where the conversation hung. So in order to create more options of responses, what you do is after you have typed this done, for example, or depending on what your own response should be, then you use this / function. You type this / and then you now add any other response that you think people might give. So for example, done, right? Then other things like, done. So there is this also, right? Different variations. There's also something like they could say done, sir, right? Or they could say, okay. Or they could say something like, already done. So these are different kind of situations. So as you use the software more, if you see that your autoresponder did not pick up on a certain variation of that message, you copy that particular message that the WhatsApp autoresponder didn't pick up and then you add it as a variation. Sure, you get, so that way it's going to, you get, your rules will keep getting more robust and robust and robust with time. Right now we're just trying to keep things very simple. Remember again, we are not using exact match, we use similarity match so that it can pick up on different kind of situations or nuances that may happen, that people may, how people can be funny sometimes. All right, so then we go on similarity match. So when they respond with this, you are not telling the software what should do respond. If you notice, you already notice that a sub menu or a sub rule has exactly the same flow as the main rule. There's no difference at all. So the sub rule or the sub menu is just a continuation of what's going on. So if the person types done, then I now come here. Okay, which other response should the person give? I now copy this, right? Copy. And then remember that this is my own programming. Yours may be different. You don't have to copy my flow. Please note that. All right, so then we come here and then we put, oh, great. Thanks so much, blah, 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 blah. Now, if there's going to be multiple replies, let me see, is there a multiple reply? Okay, it's multiple replies. So I'm going to add one more reply, right? That's the link I want them to check out. Oops, that's an error. Copy. Okay. Okay, then I will add another one. I had about 4 replies there. Okay, and then one more. You promise to give a timely update on your decision, right? Then I'm going to put that in also. So now that's 4 responses. Now remember what we do under multiple reply. We want to vary the frequency at which these messages drop, right? Do you remember the number I used? Remember it's 4 to 6, right? Between 4 and 6 seconds. So 4, then 6. All right, for you could say, if you say random, it can randomize it by itself, but I kind of prefer to always have my things done myself. You can test out random and see what happens. We will soon get to the testing phase of the rule, so let's go on. All right, so then we'll go on. Remember, we don't do anything with Dialogflow. We don't web server, we don't touch it. Delay in seconds. Remember that this section is basically asking you how much time should it be between when the person responds and when this series of responses from your bot drops. So we'll come here and then I use 4 to 6 like you already know. I'm cool with that. All right. So remember, it's individuals, not groups, not bots. And then we go on. Specific contact, no. Ignored contact, we don't need it. Reply at specific time. You can see this is just a repetition. A sub menu is basically exactly like the main menu in terms of the flow. Then we go on. Priority notification, we don't need it. Pause rule for, I'm not even touching this at all. right? So, but remember, whatever experiment you decide to run with the future, you are free to create a new rule and run experiments with it. You can test and try and, bend and twist different things around. You're free to do that. All right, so then we go on. Okay, so now the thing is, if your sub menu, right, still has more responses coming, this is what I mean. So by the time you say, do you promise to give me a timely update on your decision, right? That is a question, right? Means there's going to have to be a response. So for every response that you are expecting until the conversation is over, depending on how long your workflow is, you have to add a sub menu for that response. So remember what happens is customer drops their message, your autoresponder responds to them and tells them what to do. If you program your autoresponder to ask them a question or to get them to do something and they have to reply, that reply is basically going into a sub menu. So there you can have a situation where sub menus keep having sub menus which have sub menus, but you don't want to make your sub menus too much anyway so that it doesn't become too complicated, right? So now, do you promise to give a timely update on your decision? Now look, there's no place for us to enter that response here. So we have to create another sub menu. So let's go on. Okay, so we have to save this rule first, right? Remember that this is our main rule. This is actually the first rule we created. Hello, my name is. This is the sub menu, the first sub menu that we created, right? So we're going to click on that sub menu again. This was the answer they gave, and this is our response. And then now we have asked a question again, so we have to create another sub menu for this question. So we are going to go down and then click on sub menu, and then we put in the answer that they gave. Now, do you promise to give a timely update on your decision? Right? This is a yes. This is a yes from them. So I'll copy the yes and put it there. Now remember, people can give different variations. There could be yes. Some funny people could use yes in capital letters, they're basically shouting at you. Some other people could use something like yeah, right? Yeah. Others could use yeah. Others could use, this is just me imagining things, right? Okay. Others could use okay, no props. Still, others can use okay, no problems. Right? Others can use no problems. Right? Others can use of course. You get, so me, I'm just imagining different kind of scenarios of the kind of responses they can give. Some people will not just tell me yes. So I have to account for that. Which other one can we think of again? No problems. Somebody responded with definitely some time ago, so I added that. So as many of the different kind of responses that they can give, different kind of variation of responses. So instead of yes, some people use yes a capital letter, yeah, okay, no problems, okay, no problems. Some others can even come and say no yawa as per if they are Nigerian, right? So now remember, we don't use exact match, we use similarity match. So we go on and then we go on again. So basically, if they respond with this, what is your bot supposed to reply with, right? So you put the reply message here. You can see again that the sub menu is just a classic repetition, like it looks just like the sub menu, just like the main menu that we created. So okay, so the person says yes, so I put this response. You are massively appreciated, right? Thanks for being so kind. Brother Paul will be the one to reply from here from now on. And then I have one more message I want to drop, so I'll put that. Yeah, stay cool and remember the world is your stage. I like to, make my charts very interesting and cool. So, all right. So, what's our delay in seconds? Like delay between the messages. So I use 4. Remember, I use between 4 to 6. Now, this is not a rule. Like I said earlier, you don't have to necessarily do it this way. Your own could be 5 to 7. But the longer, the worse. If it's too long and the person doesn't get a response in time, they will leave the chat and go and do something else. So you want them to stay in that chat and finish it up. So 4 to 6. Remember, we jump this one, we connect to your web server. Now, what should be the delay between when the person drops the message and when your bot responds? Also 4 It could be 4 to 4, could be 4 4, could be 4 6, anything. You're good. All right, individuals, right? Groups, no. Both, no. We don't do all these ones. Once they are done with that, then we save the rule. So remember, once you save the rule, right, it will bring you to the first sub-menu that you created, which is this one. And then you save, you go from there. And then it will bring you to the main rule that you created, and then you save and you're good. So now we have our rule created. We've created the rule. Remember, we started from here, the main rule, right? And then these were the responses. And then we asked them a question. So they have to respond, right? So we had to create a sub rule or a sub menu for that, right? Now, when you click on a sub menu, it's going to take you to the bottom. So you have to scroll to the top to be sure you are seeing the right thing. Let me take that again. This is the main rule. You click on it, right? You can see it didn't start from the top, started from the bottom. I think it's a bug with the software or something. So you have to scroll to the top. So you know you are dealing with the right rule. Hello, brother. My name is. These are the responses from the bot. Then we asked a question at the end of it, right? So we have to give an answer. So we created a sub rule for the answer that they will give. Remember, it started from the bottom again. You have to scroll to the top. This is the answer they gave. This is our replies to them, right? With all our settings and everything. And then we asked them. I asked them another question again, right? And then I had to create a sub rule for that. And of course, okay, this is an exception. Now it did start from the bottom this time, which is maybe because there's no sub menu this time. So this is the answer, and this was my response, and this was where the chat ended. And then I saved, and I'm good. So now this is how you create a rule. So now let's go ahead. Now remember, this particular rule I created is for a specific product. I'm promoting a course called Succeed with WhatsApp, right? So I had to create a specific message for it. Now let's go ahead and create a second rule just for general messages. I receive general messages from people who want to connect with me and all that. So what should the response be? So if you want to create another rule, this plus sign again is what you click on. Okay, we're still good. We'll go on, right? So what should the response be? Or what should the message that they sent to me be? Now, you might be wondering, how is it that my messages are specifically like they say a particular thing? Remember that we're using customized messages. Now, on the internet, you will never find my phone number anywhere. What you will find is a form. If people want to talk to me on WhatsApp, they have to fill a form to get to me, because that form is what I use. I use the data from the form to save their numbers in bulk. I don't save numbers manually. That's another reason you want to get a Succeed with WhatsApp course if you are saying this elsewhere and not inside the course. But by the way, there's absolutely no reason. So I want to, I don't want a situation where people just come and send me random. I want to keep random messages to the minimum. And I want to make sure that everybody that comes to me, I'm able to save their number. So I have a form that I have created somewhere on the internet that people have to reach me through. And that's the thing I drop. So every time somebody asks me for your number, I just direct them to the form, Cognito form or Google form, and then they fill the form, and then that form has a customized message attached to it. So when they drop that customized message on my WhatsApp, I know, oh, okay, this is the place this person is coming from. All right, so we're going to deal with a general message now. Let me look for a general message. This is really long. Okay, sorry, just a minute. I had a general message somewhere actually. Okay, so this is basically a situation where, people just come and say, oh, Dapo, I'm here, right? So this was the programmed response I gave to them. Different situations. So there's hi Dapo, I'm here. There's hi brother Dapo. Different kind of situation. So I had to create a rule for it just so that it can so that the software can hold them and respond to them before I eventually come on board. So let's create a rule for this particular one also. Remember, now this particular message is also on a form somewhere on the internet. When somebody drops a message like this, I know, okay, this was the form this person filled. If somebody drops this, I know the form that they fill. Because remember, I don't give my number out directly for people to just send me a message. Why? Because I need to be able to save their numbers later, and collecting their data on a form allows me to do that. And then I attach a customized message to that form. I'm repeating this again and again and again so that you can get it. So let's go on. All right, so let's create a rule for this. Hi, Dapo, I'm here. Because I don't want to do multiple rules. I'm sorry, I don't want to have to create several rules for the same similar response. So there's this. Then remember, if you want to, if you are anticipating that they will drop the message in different ways, I also put this. We'll use the / and then we copy another kind of message that they can drop. Copy, right? And then I add that also. So it may be something like, hello, brother Dapo. Hello, brother Dapo. It could be like, hello, brother Dapo. Just something like that. Now, like I said, as different people message you from time to time, you begin to see the different variations of how people send their message. Some people will not drop the message exactly the way you put it. They will edit it, maybe include their names, and change things a bit. Some people won't even use it. They don't rub it off and then use their own. You have to look at those situations from time to time. So you keep adding more of those variations here, for every variation that people drop, so that your rule can be able to take care of every kind of situation that comes up. All right, so remember, we don't use exact match, we use similarity match. So the question is, what should the reply be, right? So I come here, hi. Okay, then I have another reply. So I put, you're welcome. Okay, then another one. Now, I could have edited it to be something else. I could say something like, oh, this is Okon, blah, 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 blah. But I just decided to just use this one at this point. Right, so this is for the people who send me general messages, like maybe they just want to connect with me. They don't specifically have my number or something. Now, join your students. Okay, so I could say something like, so let me add another one. Please save my number, save my contact. If you haven't done so already. Okay. Move this away from here. Already. So then I will now put my normal numbers, 4 to 6. All right. So how much time between when that drops and when this should respond? 4 to 4, 4 to 6, whichever way. I'm good. All right. Then I add this particular rule, copy, and then I come here and drop something like, okay, I add one more, and then I drop this. How may I be of service? So this one, I'm not anticipating what exactly. They can say many different things. So I don't know what they are going to say. So I can't program a sub menu for their response, because it could be there for different things. Unless maybe someday I get a kind of pool of, but you understand what I'm saying, right? People are not going to, you can't predict what everybody is going to say. People are going to come to your DM for different reasons. Unless you want to create the rules for all the different responses that they will give, which I think is not necessary. So I'll just stop it here. So what basically will happen is I will eventually come online and then respond to these people. So if I say how may I be of service, they will tell me what they need. So when I take over the conversation later, I'm going to only start from there. So I won't be first asking them all this, please, why are you here? All those things. So I'll just save this. We're not creating a sub menu for this. And that is that. So we have 2 rules right now. We have our first rule, right? We have our first rule, and then we have our second rule. So now let's go ahead to test our rules and see if they are working very well. Now there are 2 ways you can test this, right? You can test, look at this word, autorespond, right? Beside you can see a green button. Now that green button shows that your autoresponder is on. Mind you, it should always be on like this, so that the bot will be actively monitoring your notification. And that reminds me, please let me quickly say this. The WhatsApp autoresponder works by monitoring your notifications, and then when it sees a WhatsApp notification that fits the rule that you have created, it will respond. So now, when you first install the app, it's going to ask you to grant it notification access. So you have to turn that on. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find the permission here. Permission contacts. No, not this. Screen time, battery time. Okay, so let me go to settings and look for notification access. All right, so you go to notification access and then you come here. These are special access. So now you can see that autoresponder for WA is allowed. It will ask you for this by default. So when you see this, click on it and switch it on. Very, very important. Please don't forget. Please don't forget, because it needs that in order to be able to work very, very well. All right, so let's go ahead to test out. So there are two ways you can test the rule. You can use this icon, this comment with I icon behind the green button, and you click on that, and then this will show up. So copy the rule that we created. We'll copy the first. Let's test the first rule. So, okay. All right, so this, let's see if it will pick it up. You see that? Can you see the delay? Can you see how it feels human? Can you see it? Right, you can see that there's a delay. So it doesn't, everything is not just rushing in at once and annoying everyone. That doesn't happen. You see? Now, when I now type done, remember I programmed different kind of done, like different ways in which people can write done. So I dropped that. Remember, see that my done is not exactly what it wrote. It wrote its own in capital letter, I wrote my own in small letters, but it picked it up because we already accounted for that situation already. So you can see, oh great, thanks so much. You see, and then it drops the link, right? And then you see that. Can you see how beautiful and life-saving this is? Right? Good. So do you promise to give a timely update? Remember that we also drop different kind of situation. We dropped ye, we dropped year, we dropped all manner. So let's use ye, for example. I even forgot to include ya. I should have included ya, right? Y-A, ya. All right, see what's going to happen? Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't this just beautiful, right? It makes your life super, super easy. You don't have to be there to be the one responding every single time. Once you get really good with using an autoresponder, you can program different situations and your life will be super easy. All right, so now let's go and test it. Remember I said this is the first way we can test, but we want to test it in an actual WhatsApp situation and see if it works. Now, I have two WhatsApp accounts. I have the WhatsApp business account. I have the WhatsApp account. Let me also show you something. So when you first install the app and you have granted notification access, you might be tempted to want to go to the settings section and then looking for things to test around and stuff. So if you come to the settings, now it's going to ask you which autoresponder should you work for. So it could ask you, is it any, is it WhatsApp business? You can leave it on any, but I usually use WhatsApp business. I usually select WhatsApp business because that's what I'm using the software for, really, right? My other WhatsApp is my personal WhatsApp. Nobody's going to come and send me a business message there. But you can either use any or WhatsApp business. So let's move away from there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my normal WhatsApp account, which I've been using to do all the tests. You can see all these messages here. They were all me testing and testing and testing and testing. So I'm going to use this to test the rule and see if it works. Paste. All right. So let's see the magic happen. You see that? Can you see that? So how fast it notices the notification from your WhatsApp is how fast it will respond. Sometimes if your WhatsApp has maybe been forced stopped or the WhatsApp is not online or something, it's not going to happen quickly. So that's why you want to make sure that you have a phone that has a capable amount of RAM, and stuff like that. I'm using a phone with a 6 gig RAM, 4 gig RAM is okay, 3 gig RAM is definitely okay if I don't run into many apps on it and all that. So I'm going to respond with done, right? And once I see what's going to happen, you see that? You see that? You see that? It's interesting. All right, good. So now I'm going to type yeah or yes this time. I need to continue. Good. You see that? Can you see how it feels human? It doesn't feel too fast. It doesn't feel too forced, right? So that's it, guys. That's how you program a WhatsApp autoresponder to respond for you. So now go ye into the world, right? And make WhatsApp autoresponders of everyone. Okay, that was just a joke. All right, so now let's go to the next thing on our list. We've covered quite enough here already. Oh, sorry. Let's test the second rule to be sure it's working. Select all, copy, right? So come here. Come here. Drop the second rule. See if it, that's a mistake. I'm supposed to type only just one kind of them. Will it pick it? Will it? I doubt it will. This is a mistake actually. It might. It might not. Most likely won't. It most likely won't. It won't. All right. So let's use hi, brother Dapo. Hi, brother Dapo. I'm here. See what happens. If we didn't make any mistake, it should respond right now. You see that? He did. Oh, he did. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He did. Can you see that? God bless the person who made this app. Right. Can you see that? Please save my contacts if you haven't done so. How may I be of service? So of course, remember, we didn't program any sub menu for this one, so it's not going to go past this. Unless you program sub menus based on a specific situation, it's not going to respond further. So that is how you program an autoresponder. So let's go on to the next one. So we've created example one, a rule for a product and a general situation. We've tested our rules. I've also gone ahead to how to pick up on multiple responses, which is where I was talking about this. So where a person drops different kinds, instead of using hi Dapo, I'm here, they may just change their own and put hi brother Dapo or hello brother Dapo. And then if they do that, your WhatsApp autoresponder should be able to pick up on that. Then also this is another perfect example. See, done, sir, okay, already done. So that will also happen. So that's picking up on multiple responses. Then you have yes, yeah, okay, no problem. I can add one more and put that as yeah, right? And then save that. Okay, so we have done all that already. So now you might also want to duplicate a rule. And let me also add this, how to back up your rules. In case this was the mistake I made when my phone went missing. My phone was stolen. I did not back up the rules I created. I had to start reprogramming everything all over again. So how to back up your rules. So first off, let's go how to duplicate a rule, right? So these are our rules, right? If you want to duplicate a rule, you click on the rule. Look at the top right hand side. You can see this thing that looks like two pages linked together with one arrow pointing into each other. So if you click on that, bam, you won't know that it has created a rule, but it has actually done that. It has duplicated the rule, right? If you scroll up, you won't know because it won't tell you the rule has been. It will show you rule duplicated at the base, but you may not see it in time. So if you click on that, just know that it has duplicated the rule already. If you save it, you can now see that you now have multiple rules here. Can you see? Can you see that? So this is the original rule. We created. This is the second rule we created. This is the duplicated rule. That's how you duplicate your rule. I don't know exactly what kind of situation this might happen, but then this is how that works. So if you want to delete a rule, right, how do you do that? So you basically just swipe to the left and that rule is deleted. So now let's go to how to back up your rules. So you come to this, when you're on this page, this screen, you come to these three vertical dots at the right hand side, and then you click on import export. So when you do that, right, you then click on export rules. So it will ask you, should it export with contact? Should it export without contact? Just click on with contact. Then it asks you where you want to save it. So this is saved in my download folder, right? I might decide I want to save my own in Google Drive. And I think I kind of advise that you should. Okay, you can't save it in Google. Wait, my drive, share with me. I could go to my drive. Yeah, you could actually save it in Google Drive. I come to autoresponder. I created a folder for that initially, and then I click on save. and then it will go there and it will save it in my Google Drive folder. So that way, if anything happens to maybe your phone got missing, something happened, and you lost maybe your anything, you can basically just come back here. You already know you can download the rule, right? If you export it to your Google Drive, download it from your Google Drive first, then come here. This screen will be blank, right? And then you click on. In fact, let's do an example now. I'm going to delete all these rules right now. Right, I'm going to delete all the rule. So we have a blank page. Then I'm going to come to Google Drive. Next. Sorry, I'm trying to open my file manager. Done. Grant to so much things to grant. Wow. Manage files. All right. Okay, so I'm going to come to download. I already backed up some of the rules there. I'm going to move them to trash. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, come to my autoresponder folder. Okay. Are you serious? Okay, it didn't back up because it's waiting for Wi-Fi. So I'm going to do this and click on resume. So what it will happen is it will immediately finish up that upload. All right, so you can see it has uploaded it, right? So now I'm going to download the rule back. Download. All right, so I've downloaded it. Then I will now come here. Right, so I've already downloaded it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my WhatsApp autoresponder. I'm going to click on import export. I'm going to click on import rules, add or overwrite rules. You can say, so if you have existing rules and you just want to import to be new rules, you can click on add. If you want to overwrite existing rules, which you most likely won't ever use, click on overwrite. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to come to, so far this was where so let me just go to my downloads. Right, so this is the documents. I've written it already anyway. I don't need to do that again. Can you see that? Our rules are back. Now, should we test it? Let's test it to be sure that this is not a fluke. So we're going to put this paste. We're almost done. All right. See, it's going to respond. You see that? So whether you want to test it in the app or you want to go and test it in your WhatsApp, actual WhatsApp, you can do that anywhere. You're fine. All right, so that takes us away from here. Okay, so now current limitations and issues. So here are some of the phones that I was originally using an Infinix, and for some reasons it's not working on Infinix. I don't know what it did. I messaged the manufacturer of the software and it said some brands messed up their notification access. So what happens is you have Infinix users saying that they use the app for a while, then it stops working after like an hour, and then they have to reboot and they have to restart their phone every time. That shows that the notification access feature is broken on some apps. So it's not working on Infinix, it's not working on Tecno. So if you're using any of these two phones, you may want to test it out, but it kind of also look like there are some specific models that it's working on, but I like to be safe. So I just went for a brand that is working without any issues on. So here are the brands that this software is currently working on very well. You have Samsung, preferably recent Samsung, please note, not a Samsung of 5 million years ago. Samsung, you have Redmi. It's working on Redmi. That's Xiaomi Redmi. That's Xiaomi Redmi. So it's working on, I'm using a Gionee M15, so it's working on Gionee also. So these are some Redmi, Gionee. These are some of the higher end brand, like the mid-market brands in the market, right? And so this is where you find phones like Redmi. You find Gionee, you find maybe brands like Vivo, and then I think Oppo too. I've not tested out Oppo, but Oppo and Gionee and Xiaomi, they are pretty much in the same category. Samsung is like their grandfather. These are the really premium brands. So it's these are the ones that I'm very sure it's working on so far. The Infinix and Tecno, no. Then it's not working on iPhone. Sorry, iPhone users. In fact, the app is not even available for iPhone users. So that's that about that. Then what are the current limitations? The next limitation is that it doesn't support media files. So you can't send a video file or a document or something like that with WhatsApp autoresponder yet. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I'm just as sad as you are. But someday, hopefully, that will be possible. So, guys, that brings us to the end of our class on using WhatsApp autoresponder. We've been here for almost an hour. This is one of the longest classes I've had, right? But I hope you found value, and please implement and remember to drop me feedback on the group on our Succeed with WhatsApp Telegram group, so I can know how well you're doing and stuff like that and everything. So that's basically it. All right, cheers and bye.